Now, when kickstarting this channel just over a month back, I promised that for the next month or so I'd be posting strictly World Cup content. Unfortunately, round about that same time I got sick for up to 2 weeks, right as the tournament started, and I just never found the time to squeeze making an extra video into my daily routine. But that doesn't mean I've forgotten about this channel, as I have big plans here going forward. Back to my point of making international related videos. Today I'm making the exception because of who we're dealing with. Because I'm sure you've all heard the reports about Cristiano Ronaldo's supposed imminent departure, and a lot of Madrid and CR7 fans out there don't know what to believe or what's going on. I've followed this situation for up to a year now, and I feel like I have a good understanding of what's going on in this situation. I have to throw this disclaimer out there every time I talk about one of these two players. Kulos and Messi fans, this video isn't about Leo, and what we're not going to do is use the comment section as a platform to compare both of these great players. This video is strictly about CR7 and his transfer situation, not about who the best player of the world is. So Barca and Messi fans, if you are watching this video, try to be objective about Ronaldo and Real Madrid and not look at this from a Barca Messi fan perspective. So right off the bat, before we get into the when, what, wheres and whys, let's take a moment to appreciate the consistent level of greatness of Cristiano since his arrival at the Santiago Bernabeu for a world record transfer fee back in the summer of 2009. Since he scored an incredible 450 goals in just 438 appearances in all competitions, won 2 La Liga titles and conquered Europe 4 times. Whenever he does decide to pack his bags, whether it's this summer or some years down the line, he will so as not only the top scorer but the greatest player in their history. So with that considered, combined with the fact Ronaldo is universally recognised as one of the 2 best players in the world still, and just came off of a season scoring 44 goals in as many appearances, while capturing a record 5th Champions League title. Without the inside information, you'd think why on earth wouldn't Real Madrid be doing everything within their power to keep this man on their team? The reality of the situation is Ronaldo is actually too good for his age. And that's actually where the problem starts here. We've never seen someone at aged 33 coming on 34 in this sport, at least in the physical condition Ronaldo is in now. And because of that, nobody knows what to expect from Ronaldo in upcoming years. Decline is inevitable for every athlete in the history of sports, and Ronaldo's has been well overdue for some time now. But he's continued to evolve and adapt as a player with age. The problem I spoke of lies within a disagreement between Cristiano's representatives and Real Madrid upper management, specifically chairman Florentino Perez. As the agent of a player specifically of Ronaldo's calibre, Jorge Mendes' job is to put everything on the table and maximise things for his client on the financial side of football. Ronaldo is making an estimated 21 million euros a year on his current contract at Real Madrid. In comparison, Messi's earning 35 million euros at Barcelona, and Neymar's contract at PSG is somewhere along the same lines. With what Cristiano has achieved the past couple of years, he has every right to believe he's the best player in the world, and feels he deserves to be paid as such. He looks at how Barcelona have taken care of Messi, who've consistently offered him up-to-date extensions over the years, while Ronaldo hasn't had the same kind of love from Real Madrid. Now from Florentino Perez's side of things, this is a guy who over the years has proved to be rational and very stubborn. He firmly stands for no player being bigger than the club, and Cristiano, being the global superstar he is, has pushed those boundaries of power whether he intended to or not. Perez likes things within the club to be run his way, and he has no problem with forcing high profile names out the door. In the last 15 years, Real Madrid have had 14 different managers, most of whom were unfairly sacked or replaced for the sake of change. Both Casillas and Raul, original Galacticos who came through the youth ranks, spent 15 years apiece at the club and combined for over 1,000 appearances, were both mistreated in the latter years of their careers, and against their will played out what was left of their playing days at Schalke and Porto. It's not that Perez doesn't want to keep Ronaldo, it's that he doesn't want to commit long term to an aging player. He doesn't want to be stuck in a position where he's paying someone up to 30 million euros a year throughout their mid to late 30s. By the end of next season, both Modric and Ramos will be 33, Benzema 31, Marcelo 31, and obviously Ronaldo will be 34. Florentino Perez has his eyes set on building the new era of galacticos, the same way he did in 2009, offloading some of the originals and bringing in the likes of Kaka and Ronaldo both for world record transfer fees. It's no secret Perez is obsessed with Neymar, and he wants him to be the centerpiece of the rebuild and poster boy of the club going forward. Minds were made up on both parties well before the Champions League final. Ronaldo, even right after the game in a post-match interview, raised questions about his future by claiming change is upon the horizon and he has an announcement to be made public real soon. Perez represents everything that opposes the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Angel Di Maria back in 2014 had just come off of his best season at the club and was instrumental in the La Decima run, which ended a 12-year-long Champions League drought for Los Blancos. He was even man of the match of the UCL final, though the following summer he was shipped off to United for 60 million, to free up a space for James Rodriguez, the shiny new toy Perez couldn't get his hands on quick enough, who lit up the World Cup in Brazil for Colombia. As talented as Rodriguez was, there was no reason to bring him in at the expense of Di Maria. One of the reasons I believe Real endured the success they have in recent years was how Zidane created a winning culture at Madrid. Instead of bringing in new faces every year, he let the same group of world-class players build chemistry over the years. I must say though, and I'm sure any objective Madridista will agree with me, winning the Champions League for the third straight time doesn't mask the fact this was a rocky season for the Whites from start to finish. They suffered a devastating 3-0 defeat to Barca back at Christmas, essentially ending their league title defence there and then in their backyard. They were then knocked out of the last 8 of the Copa del Rey over 2 legs by 17th place Leganes, and in the end finished not only 17 points behind Barca in La Liga, but also missed out on 2nd place to local rivals Atletico Madrid. And had it not been for moments of individual brilliance by their star players and a series of fortunate goalkeeper errors, Real would have ended this past season trophyless and would undoubtedly be their worst season in recent memory. Harsh reality is Zidane's job was on the line up until his very last game in charge, which is ultimately why I believe he stepped down when he did. Now, what a lot of people can't quite get their heads around is, of all the possible destinations Ronaldo could leave for, is how out of nowhere this past week Juventus have emerged as the clear-cut frontrunner. First things first is a mutual respect between Cristiano and Juve. He appreciates the love the fans showed him after he scored his overhead kick, giving him a standing ovation, and back in 2003 he was on the verge of joining the Italian club, until negotiations broke down because of a disagreement on a Juve player's end, who refused to join Lisbon in part of the deal. Juve can now offer what I suspected Ronaldo would find very appealing at PSG. Move to a league where he could coast through the domestic season and save himself for the business end of the season. Exactly what he's done the past few years at Madrid, which probably came at the expense of domestic titles. The difference at Juve would be he wouldn't have to compete week in week out with not only Barcelona for the league, but Messi with goals as well. Juve will probably win Serie A with or without him next season, as they have done for the past 7 years. But while always being in contention, making 2 of the last 4 finals, Ronaldo could be the superstar that could put the old lady over the edge and bring them their first Champions League title since 1996, which would be huge for his legacy, as it would mean not only has he proven he can win in every league he's ever played in, he can win the biggest prize whether he's playing in England, Spain, Italy or with his country. He'd also put Italian football back to peak relevancy, as they've not had a superstar of this magnitude since the days of Diego Maradona at Napoli. A transfer within the next few days does seem very likely. It seems as if it will be a 4-year deal between the 100-120 million range. These are credible reports from Spain, none of the BS British media outlets like Sky Sports or BBC will throw at you. This is coming out of marca.com, the biggest Madrid-based footballing paper who have a long history of being well connected from inside Real Madrid's organisation. It's also worth mentioning Ronaldo, the same way Messi did a few years back, was guilty of tax evasion. Perhaps another factor is he's just done with living in Spain because of that. Cristiano has and always will have love for Real Madrid and their fans till the end of time, but his swan song appears to be in the latter stages. It's been reported that the move is imminent. The final stages are in the works as we speak, and it's a matter of how the move is publicly announced, whether it's directly from the club or Ronaldo himself. Everything is pointing towards Ronaldo's exit. The only possible way I believe he stays is if Perez forks out the contract extension, which he apparently has no intention of giving, for all the reasons I stated earlier on in this video. I'm sure we'll have definitive answers within the next few days, and we'll soon find out what the next chapter in not only Cristiano's career holds, but what's next for Real Madrid as well, who are going to go all in on Operation Neymar this summer. The relationship between Ronaldo and the Madrid board at this point might be beyond repair. I know a lot of people might assume this is Ronaldo's way of trying to force Real to give him a new contract, but like I said earlier, they're standing firm and refuse to give in, and both parties are willing to go their separate ways if the right opportunity and price presented itself, which has in Juventus. But yeah guys, that's all I have in store for today's video. If you've made it up to this point and enjoyed, be sure to smash that like button. I'm going to be posting on this channel a lot more frequently. For more content of the sorts, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. We're trying to grow this channel as much as possible this summer. And on that note, it's Young Flacco signing out. Let me know what subjects you want me to cover down below, and I'm out. Peace.